The proponents of the amendment aren't even telling you what it's really about. They talk about how it's going to have a stream of income for education and how you can still vote on tax rates. But you know, the real intent of this and the big policy change that you need to be aware of is that it removes the constraints that we placed on government in 1992. Before then, government said, we'll tax you as we please, and after you pay it, then we'll spend it as we please. And you know, in 1992, the taxpayers said, we're going to alter that deal. And after this, you've got to come to us not only to ask how much money you get, you've got to come to us not only to ask what the tax rates are, but what your total budget is. Please understand the real intent and the major change of this amendment will be to get rid of any constraints that government has on the amount of money it takes in. That also means that you get nothing back from the state government in TABOR refunds, ever. The surplus will be gone because it'll be rediverted. The surplus will be gone because it'll be diverted into the state education fund. The Rocky Mountain News asked who's behind this. We're not the proponents and we don't know, but we do know that expenditures have been made from people outside of the education industry. You've got to realize that any time you have government taking money like this, taking away your TABOR refunds, that money can be used not just how it's directed, but money's fungible. That means it can be spent on lots of different things in lots of different ways. And we've seen a lot of the people who depend on tax dollars, that is the tax consumers, and we've seen the tax consumers support this. I'm here to tell you that the taxpayers need to emphasize once again that there's got to be a better balance between the money you spend on government and the money you spend on your family's budget. When taxpayers look at their ballot and see this amendment, they should recognize that it's not just about education. In fact, the education is a minor part. What it's really about is taking away the citizens' ability to tell government what its total budget should be year in, year out. They should be thinking, I've got a budget for my family, I've got a budget for businesses and the charities and associations that I'm involved with, and government should have a budget too. Budget constraint that is intelligent and reasonable. The proponents of this measure are asking you to remove all constraints from government, while those constraints get tighter and tighter around your family budget. Referendum C hasn't even run its course. It moved the total budget up by $6 billion, almost twice what you were told it would. And every year after Referendum C, because of Referendum C, the state budget will be $1.4 billion higher. Now, unless you're used to writing billion-dollar checks, that may not mean a lot to you. But what it means to a family of four is about $1,000 or $1,100 every year, on average, to the average family, will be going more to government. On top of that comes this amendment that says you don't ever get TABOR surpluses back. So government will grow more and more. That is going to be a huge increase on the citizens. It's more taxes than we should have to pay, and we've got to strike that good balance between the budgets we have for our family and the budgets we have for government.